starting the agenda for a call to order. I want to welcome everybody today. Today is Friday, February 18th, 2022, and to the Public Clemency Board meeting. As you notice, it's me, Felisa Carter, instead of our usual chair, Patrick Canavan. Our chair, Patrick Canavan, had a conflict today, so he asked me Felisa Carter, to chair the meeting today so we can go over what the updates about the Clemency Board's business. So I will be chairing on Patrick's behalf. Before we begin, I'd like to say that I have some meeting guidelines. First, just to make sure, it seems like people are following this already, make sure that your microphones are muted when you are not speaking. And second, if you have any questions, please hold them to the question section of the agenda or question section of the meeting. However, feel free to take advantage of the chat function, which allows you to send questions, and we will definitely address them during the question and answer portion of the meeting. Before we begin, I'd like to take attendance, and if you can let me know, the board members could let me know that we have a quorum just by saying you're here. I'm going to read off the names, and please let me know if you're here. Andy Foss.
I'm here, Felicia.
Thank you. Emily Gunston.
I'm here.
Antonio Nunes. Is there anyone else here from the council member's office? No. Okay. Katia Semyonova. Sorry, Katia.
Semyonova. I'm right here.
Semyonova. Thank you. Alana Suttenberg.
I'm here. I'm here.
Reverend Whitaker.
Here.
Okay, we have quorum, and now we can proceed. So moving on and along on our agenda, old business. I don't think we have any old business at this time. So we're going to move on to new business, and the new business that we have on the agenda is just kind of going along with the update about the Metropolitan Police Department background check. We also are looking at the update on the documents obtained from the DC Superior Court, and looking at also at the update about the Clemency Board website. So at our last meeting, we voted on by majority vote that the board finalize the Clemency Board application. So part of the application involves several releases of information, and short form of that, we say ROIs. The ROIs that the applicant must complete for the board to obtain background information on the applicant. So at this time, we're to complete that section of the application for the background information we need to complete the application. We're in discussions with the MPD, the Metropolitan Police Department, and also the DC Superior Courts. So for the ROI for the MPD, I know it's a lot of acronyms, we're looking for, as a board, to complete the information, information and documentation we need to, when we review the application. We're looking for information about background checks from the MPD, and also getting released to us access to like the person's applicant's criminal history. And for the DC Superior Courts, there are ROIs. We're looking for release of information regarding like the arrest warrant, so the board can be informed about the initial description of the offenses and the reasons for the arrest, And also we're looking for several things. We're looking for a proffer of facts in support of the guilty plea. So release of that information so the board can be aware of the facts that the defendant, the facts that the defendant agreed to as a part of the plea deal. We're also looking for a release of information regarding the sentencing memorandum, regarding the government and the defense, what recommendations they made regarding the sentencing at the time that the trial took place, or the hearing. So we can have that information to have a complete packet of information. We're also looking to release the sentencing and trial transcripts. We would like that to be free of charge. We have to see about that. That's what we're in discussions with the DC Superior Court about. We're also looking for, from the DC Superior Court, the indictment or other charging documents and the judgment of conviction. So to provide a more, I guess, in-depth I guess review of what we have, where we are as a board, what's going on behind the scenes. Christina Sacco from the Mayor's Office of General Counsel will provide us with more information about that. She is currently the board staff director, and she will provide further status on the ROIs and the progress of the Clemency Board's website. So Christina, if you could move us forward on that information.
Thank you, Felisa. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. Good to see you guys. I'm so used to it being the morning, so good afternoon. But I just wanted to give a couple of updates. As Felisa indicated, our next steps were to finalize those ROIs so we have a complete application to upload to the website. So good news with the MPD background check. We were able to get a method of running background checks for the board on any applicants that we receive or applications that we receive. The only thing that MPD didn't have was a sample template ROI, so a request for release of information. And so we offered to draft a release on their behalf. And so we sent that over to MPD, and that is currently being reviewed by one of their counsels. And so once we have more of an update about how they would like to structure that, I think we're able to finalize that process a lot sooner. We also reached out to build out an ROI process with the DC Superior Court for the documents that police enumerated. We followed up with the Superior Court, but they have yet to settle a time to meet with us to discuss whether or not this could be done via email or a signed ROI that an applicant would agree to. So we are still in the early processing stage for the DC Superior Court. We hope to have this finalized soon, and we certainly will follow up again. So those are the two updates for the MPD and the DC Superior Court. They're our last two outstanding items we need to access all documents. And then once we have those, we are going to upload it to the website. So I was hoping to have it uploaded to the website by this meeting, but unfortunately, we haven't heard back on those two options, and I think it would be premature to upload the application without the necessary releases to process an application. So we're hoping to hopefully have that completed at the next meeting. But that's the current update on the ROI process. And I just wanted to open the floor for questions from the board.
Do members of the board have any further questions for Christina?
Okay, thank you. Happy to take questions from members of the public that are here. I see we have Professor Moyd. Professor Moyd, any questions? President White says she has no questions. Okay, any questions from Simone Smith?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. And I think we have Ethan Anderson. Any questions from you, Mr. Anderson?
No questions at this time.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. That's the update from our end. I'll turn it over to Felisa.
Okay, since there are no further questions for Christina about the background, dealing, I guess, updates about the background information we need from release information we need from the different agencies and about the website, we'll move on to public comments of the agenda. Does any member of the public have any questions or comments at this time?
Hi, this is Olinda Moy. Good afternoon, everyone. I said I didn't have any questions, but the one question I do have is, do we have a time frame for when we anticipate getting those documents to complete the application from the court and from NPD?
Christina, do you have any guesstimate or?
So Professor Moyd, we reached out early in the month to them, so it's been about 2 weeks since. So I'm happy to follow up, but again, you know, all we can do is continue to reach out and hope our counterparts reach back. So we'll do our best, but we'll certainly make our best efforts to get this completed as soon as possible. So as of right now, to answer your question, I don't have an exact time.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
And then
Do any other members of the public have any questions about the board's business?
I got on late, so this is Josephine Ross here. I just want to find out, did I miss something about when the application would be completed and sent to us and the regulations completed and sent to us?
Professor Ross, so the application is complete and finalized. We're just waiting on the 2 ROIs with MPD and the DC Superior Court. Those processes are currently in the works. We have yet to finalize that. So until we have the ROI process finalized, then we'd have a fully complete application. And at that point, we will release it and obviously put it on the website as well. The regulations are finalized. They were voted on, I'd probably say, probably 2 months ago. The regulations are on the DC register, so they're published and can be accessed. But I'm also happy to send you a link to them if that's what you would prefer.
Are they on the board website as well?
They are not on the board's website. No, they are on the DC register. So we intend to have all that information added on to the website once we go live. We just don't have an impending date as of yet because our application is still requiring a couple of ROI processes to be finalized.
And the last question I have just has to do with the staff person, because obviously it can't all be on you. So is there something in the mayor's budget to create a full-time staff person?
It's certainly something that is considered for sure. We understand that this would require more than just me, but you're also getting more than just myself. We also have the team of the Office of the General Counsel, which are also on the call. But yes, there is consideration for that. It's just I can't give a final on that determination of what it's going to look like or who, but yes, we are considering that.
Anyone else on the call that has any question, member of the public or board member? Okay, well, this time, if no one has any further questions that I can see, we will likely be bringing this meeting to a close. But before I could do that, moving on to the adjournment section of the agenda, I have to set a date, which for the board, the Clemency Board, to set up a next public meeting. And a proposed date I have for our next public meeting would be on March 11th, 2022 at 1 p.m. and at 1 p.m. So I'm asking the board members, are you available at that time on that date? Can the board members let me know so I can know if I have a quorum or not for that meeting?
I'm sorry, Felisa, could you repeat that date? I missed it.
March 11th, 2022.
That's fine for me, Felisa.
Okay, Andy, yes. So at 1 p.m. At 1 p.m.
It's fine for Emily.
Okay.
It's not a great date for me if it's possible to do the following.
You mean the next
The
Friday?
18th. Yeah, the 18th.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
I think Ms. Suttonberg and I have some, no, we don't. It's on the 4th. Yeah.
So
11 ports for me, Reverend Whitaker.
I think I'd also have a preference for the 18th if available.
So Katya and Alana, you would prefer March?
Either one is fine with Emily.
Same here for Andy.
Okay, yeah, March 11th. Yeah, I might have jury duty, so I may have a conflict, but so that's I may not work for me, but so at this point, so I don't know if I can. Patrick's not here. It works for Reverend Whitaker, Andy, and Emily, and Katya and Elena have conflict. So, Christine?
I don't have, I would just prefer the 18th if that's possible. If that's not possible, I can work around the 11th.
Okay.
The 11th, I think I'm actually going to be out of the office. So that was my preference.
Okay.
Not that day.
So with that, I only have 3 definites for that date, and I have 1 maybe. I'm only a maybe because I may have jury duty. I don't know.
Jurors don't normally report on Fridays. Is it a reporting day or Friday, or it's a carryover?
It's for petite. I have to call in and see petite jury service.
Or maybe it's federal court. I don't know anything.
Yeah, it's fed.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, then I have.
Christine, do you have any advice for me? Is that not enough for quorum, only 3?
Well, I think based on so I see that Katya, Ilana is out of office and you might have jury duty. So we have 3 that will be gone. So that means we'll only have 4 attendees, which will put us at a quorum since Ilana is still a non-voting member. However, I would prefer everyone be there. So if we could all make the 18th work, if that's not too far to push it off. I know we don't want to, delay meetings even further, but if everybody's okay with 18th, that's fine.
Okay, so March 18th at 1 o'clock? Does that work? I guess I'm putting that out there now for March 18th at 1 o'clock. For me, March 18th.
Okay, for me.
Okay, so Alana says yes. Reverend Whitaker says yes. Andy?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, Emily?
That works for me.
Okay, and I still may be a maybe because I could have possibly jury duty. So at least I have 4. So that sounds like quorum. So March 18th at 1 p.m. It works. Okay, so I have a quorum. So March 18th. Okay. Okay. So on March 18th, it looks like we will be discussing internal procedures for the Clemency Board. The board will receive updates about the Clemency Board's website and the outstanding ROIs. If there are no more questions, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you guys for attending this meeting. Thank you everyone for attending this meeting. And it looks like I'll see you on March 18th at 1 p.m.
Okay, have a good long weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a good weekend,
Lisa.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
Christy.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.